I would like to say that the future of service design is hopefully like the day-to-day was. Open-minded and connective, interdisciplinary and inspiring, and always thinking, you know, of what can we do better and where can we move next, and so energetic. And it has been throughout the last 17 years some place where people meet that are open-minded and energetic and inspiring and interdisciplinary. When I started to teach service design, there was basically nothing. The term service design was just being invented. And if Google had existed at that time, and you would have put the term service design into the search machine, there would have been 0 results. And today, if you do it, I did it a couple of weeks ago, you will get 1.5 billion results on the term of service design. I have to say, this is amazing. Wow. And it is the output of a lot of energy that has been put into creating better services that make more sense to people, that really create value and make the world maybe a better place to be and more fun to be. We see service design education in many, many universities all over the world. We see companies like La Poste, like Orange, like Volkswagen, like McDonald's, like others really engaging with creating services that are valuable to people. So it's a big wow, 1.5 billion results for service design, but it is also, well, maybe a bit fuzzy. Because if you look in depth into these 1.5 billion results for service design, you find a big basket of almost everything. You find IT companies that find it a bit more sexy to call what they are doing service design. You find marketing people that think they create more market attention if they don't only talk of marketing but of service design. You find, well, even prostitutes that offer their services under the label of service design. I'm serious, I found it. Today, I mean, if you look at what we've been seeing today, we've been seeing architects talking to us about, well, some even about service design. We've had marketeers, we've had business people. So the edges of service design are a bit fuzzy. And this is good. I think they will stay fuzzy, and this will always bring new inspiration into the community. But still, in the future, we might have to deal with this question. Is everything out there service design just because it uses the label? Does service design take place everywhere? Is everything that is, you know, dealing with service design, and is everybody doing it? I think that there needs to be maybe a clearer understanding of what is service design, and this understanding is implicit in this professional service design community. Somehow we know what we are doing, and we know what is service design and where are constructive and inspiring fuzzy borders, and where does it become a bit of fake packaging. And I do believe that the Service Design Network and this professional community will make a contribution to transform the implicit knowledge of what is service design into a more explicit statement of what good service design is. And I think that will be helpful for the future of this field if we create some baseline on the discussion of what is service design, and make it well, helpful for companies that want to engage with service design, make it helpful for educational institutions that teach service design. So I think one aspect of the future of service design is to make more explicit what service design is. And well, in the future there might be another aspect, and I would like to look back again. Who was in Amsterdam on the service design conference? Great, wow. So a couple of people were in Amsterdam, and I think you remember that we saw many presentations that showed us ethnographical research, deep dive, design probes, little videos that were taken, and that was great. That was great stuff, and we loved it, right? Who of you was in Madeira? Okay, A couple of people were in Madeira, and we saw more ethnographical research and deep dive and videos taken on customer journeys and touch points and storyboards. And who of you was in Berlin? Wow, okay. We saw more of it, but we started to yawn. We did not want to see much more of those ethnographic research, touch point, design probe things, because somehow the interface level of service design has become a commodity. And Shelley has shown us one example with the bank perspective. You know, that's the interface. What do we see when we look at the service interface through the customer eyes? It is still a major part of what service designers do, but it is not what we really want to talk about on conferences anymore, because it has become a commodity. Journeys, interfaces, touch points, evidences, it is there, but it is not really the future of service design. We see, since, let's say, Berlin, more talks that move into the system level of service design, where the service design community starts to talk about system maps, stakeholder maps, complexity, understanding these complex systems that are behind the surface, that are behind the interface of service design. And we have seen today how Laura and Lisa have presented the system perspective when they talked about how do we enable employees to create services or to deliver services that are really, you know, enthusiastic and that really meet the needs of customers. So the system level of service design is about organizations, it's about processes, it's about those people that are there on stage trying to deliver the service that meets the needs or exceeds the needs of people. So service design has moved from an interface level to a system level. And when we look at San Francisco, who was in San Francisco? Wow, many people were in San Francisco, where we had the perspective moving from the value perspective. We saw a lot more of the strategic level of service design. And today we had a strategic level of service design with Giuseppe's presentation, where he said that providers of mobility need to position themselves in a completely different way. They are no longer only providers of public transport. They are part of a network that enables people to move between different facets of services. So service design seems to move from the interface through the system level to the strategic level. And every level keeps to exist. They continue to exist, but we seem to be moving into the direction of strategies. But no matter on what level service designers are working, and every level is existent, it is about creating value. And that is one of the crucial issues. We have to create value when we improve or innovate interfaces. We have to create value on the system level of organization, processes, and structures and qualification of people. And we have to create value when we talk about strategies. I did a little research a couple of months ago, and I asked the service design community, what is most important to you when you do a service design project? And this was the answers. 65% of the service designers says, the most important thing for me in a service design project is the customer value. And, well, we had 8% even that said it's the shareholder value. But we see that when we talk about value in the service design community, there is still a very strong focus on the customer value. What I say is that the future of service design will move from the focus on customer value to more of a stakeholder value. Because when we move through the system and strategic perspective, we cannot only focus on the interface and the user. We have to focus on the whole system, and we have to make sure that people within that system get a value out of what is being done. And that means that, and we have seen Ben talk about it in a very interesting and inspiring way, that means that we even have to think about the business value that we create in service design, and that service designers need to get a better understanding of what business value is and of measuring and communicating that business value. So I think in the future we need to create ways of measuring value and communicating value, because that's what it is all about if we want to grow the market for service design. We need to make transparent how service design contributes to value creation. Service design is being embraced by business. We see more and more companies creating roles and departments that label themselves service design. And I think that's a fabulous development. I would not have thought that this could happen 17 years ago, but it is the reality today. And it will be even more so in the future. I do see one important aspect for business. Make sure that you do not create service design silos. Because it is nice to create a department of service design, and you've done what needs to be done, you have put the band-aid on the wooden leg. There is those creative people in some little laboratory making those creative little things, but the rest of the company has its piece. It will not be disturbed by those funny people with post-its and sticky notes that try to do things in a different way. That is not the future. The future is to bring service design into organizations so that they have an impact on everyday life of what organizations do. I'm in a process with a huge German business right now where we are thinking of how can we bring the creation center from its position far away into the organization. So I think in the future of service design we need to think about the integration of creativity and innovation into everyday life of those people that work in service business. And there is one more last thing that I would like to mention. I think in the future of service design we will see a lot of education on service design growing. If you look today, we have more than 50 members that are universities, educational institutions, so quantity is growing, and I think we need a big growth in quality. I think today the label of service design on an educational institution doesn't have any meaning. We don't know what's behind it. It can be that it's just a class that is given by somebody who has read a book on service design, and that is the truth, and they still call it service design. So in the future we will need a lot more of transparency of what quality in service design education is, and we need to enhance that quality in order to make sure that those governments, those institutions, those companies that engage service designers really get quality in what we are doing. So I think these are some challenges for the future. We need, well, definitely a clearer understanding of what service design is and what it is not. We need a clear value delivery, no matter if we work on the interface level, on the system level, or on the strategic level. We need organizations that embrace service design in a way that it's not put into silos, where it's isolated from the rest of the world. And we need education that has a really transparent quality and where we really enable people to give value to those organizations that engage them. And that's basically it. Thank you.